It begins with a woman, her eyes swollen with tears that have long since dried, her body lies motionless on the ground with blood spread around her like a warning no one needed, and in the next breath we see the weapon, a hammer gripped tightly by a man whose face twists not in horror, but in satisfaction, thrilled by what he's just done, like the violence completed something inside him, but before the weight of it settles in, a voice cuts through the silence, "Come out," loud and angry, a big old man storms into the station shouting again and again, and from the side, the sub-inspector calmly responds that he's been here the whole time, unfazed, composed, while in the background our main character quietly works, completely unaffected by the chaos. The sub-inspector steps in to calm things down and says settle down, but the drunk old man loses control, screaming that he doesn't know who any of them are, questioning if they're even real cops as tension swells in the room. The inspector turns his anger toward the junior officers who hesitate, clearly unsure how to handle the mess, but the younger officer warns the old man that if he keeps making a scene he'll be locked up and asked if he wants to eat prison food before his guardian even arrives, and just as the words leave his mouth the drunk old man slaps him hard enough to rattle the room, leaving the officer stumbling back while the senior officer steps in, furious and scolding him loudly, and still, in the middle of all this chaos, one man continues working silently in the corner, our main character calm as ever until he finally stands up and the entire atmosphere shifts, his strong frame and sharp eyes pull the attention of everyone in the room, and even the senior officer straightens up, calling his name with a hint of nervous respect, Officer Park, and now we learn his name as he steps toward the drunk man with calm authority and asks if he knows where he is. The old man hesitates and says, "The police station," to which Park replies that he was found drunk, unconscious in the middle of the road, endangering traffic and forcing them to respond. The old man, once aggressive, now trembles, stammering apologies and admitting fault while Park finishes the moment with one final warning, telling him this is his lesson and what he did was illegal, asking if he understands, to which the man nods fearfully, and just like that, Park heads out for patrol as another officer tells him his usual partner is on leave, so someone else will be joining him this time. As Officer Park walks off like an unbothered king, one of the juniors leans over and whispers to his senior, "Wait, why's a guy like him doing street patrol? Shouldn't he be in the violent crimes unit or something?" The senior just sighs, like he's heard this question way too many times. "You think it's that easy? He didn't even go to the police academy. Just passed the civil service exam and jumped into the field. No fast tracks. No fancy badges. Gotta earn everything from scratch." Still, he admits that Park's been quietly grinding, filing reports, staying sharp, not saying a word, just stacking points like it's a game. Then the junior throws another curveball. "Didn't he graduate from C University? Forensics department?" The senior nods. "Yeah. That part's true. But if he was so smart, why didn't he go straight to the academy?" Then he drops the real bomb. Turns out Park was a total delinquent back in middle school. A legit street thug. Lucky he didn't get into serious trouble or he'd never be wearing that uniform today. But something flipped in high school. He got his act together, locked in, and studied like a madman. Barely got into university on a special program. And yeah, rumor is he topped the national exam. But the guy never talks about himself. No flexing. No stories. Just silence. Then boom, their walkie-talkie crackles to life. Dispatch cuts in fast. Possible body reported. 1181 neighborhood. Second floor of an apartment building. No time to ask questions. No time to hesitate. Officer Park grabs the mic like a pro. Patrol unit en route. 3 officers responding. And boom. They're off. Sirens blaring. Tires screeching. The city lights flashing across the windshield. Next thing we see, their patrol car skids to a stop in front of the building. Park steps out without a word, eyes locked on the scene ahead, like he's already seen what's coming. Then one of the officers turns to Park and casually asks, "Think this is another false report?" Park replies without emotion, "Then find the one who reported it." Cold. Direct. Professional. His partner agrees with a nod, but our MC, who is clearly not convinced, still staring out the window, lost in thought. Internally, he mutters to himself, "This isn't what I became a cop for." He's seen these kinds of calls before. Fake crime reports. Empty apartments. Nothing new. But as he arrives inside the location, something already feels different. It's quiet. Almost too quiet. Then, a sound. A faint moaning. Something human. Something off. One of the officers freezes, whispering, "What the hell?" Our MC approached the apartment door carefully, tension rising. Park grips the handle, slowly pushes the door open. What he sees next throws everyone off. A blur. Something darts past him fast. He flinches, ready to attack, but then they stop. It's just a cat. Then our MC mood instantly shifts, thinking, all this stress, for a damn cat? The cat just stares back like it owns the place. But then Park senses someone and turn around. Holy cow. They're on the floor. A body of a hot woman laying in perfect position. If you guys think the same, then comment down below. Now our officer Park kneels beside the lifeless girl. Her pale hands, her twisted expression, the crusted blood, silent evidence of violence. He mutters to himself, this is definitely a victim body. But something in his eyes flickers, disbelief. Seeing it in person, it's different. A photo never prepares you for this. Suddenly, the walkie-talkie buzzes. A voice crackles through, "Officer Park, we found someone nearby the scene." But the voice stumbles, clearly drunk. Another officer replies, "Got it. I've confirmed the body myself. Keep the informant under close watch." Understood. Then, a panel freezes in time, Park standing over the girl's body. His expression unreadable, but his eyes burn with intensity. This is not an accident. The next moment, Park steps outside. A flood of camera flashes greets him. Reporters, media vans, all already swarming the scene. The call to the station came in at 11:39 p.m. Now it's 11:48. Just 9 minutes later, chaos. A senior officer turns to Park. "Who's the informant?" Park answers sharply, "They were acting suspiciously, so I brought them in. But they were heavily intoxicated." "What about the NFS?" his colleague asks. Park glances toward the street. "They're arriving now." A black car screeches into view. Fast. Too fast. Park mutters, "Who the hell drives like that?" The patrol car screeched to a halt beside Officer Park. From it, a group of men stepped out, clean suits, sharp expressions, and an air that immediately shifted the atmosphere. Among them, one man stood out. He didn't need to announce himself, his presence alone did the talking. With slightly tousled black-brown hair and a gleaming badge, he radiated authority. Park and his partner couldn't help but stare, confused. "Who are these guys?" was written all over their faces. When Park's partner finally asked, the answer hit like a punch: Regional Investigation Unit. His eyes widened in disbelief, nearly stumbling back. Then, the man with the badge stepped forward and calmly introduced himself. "I'm Chief Inspector Choi Kong-hoon from the Regional Investigation Unit." Park's partner instantly saluted, flustered, and Park followed. The pressure was real. "What kind of case brings the RIU here?" Choi placed a firm hand on Park's partner's shoulder and with a calm authority, said, "This case is ours now. I'll need your cooperation." Park partner simply just nodded. Meanwhile, Park quietly observed him, saying nothing, but admiring his cool composure. Elsewhere, one of the RIU agents leaned back, taking a quiet drag, his face tight with pressure. "If we don't catch him this time, we're in serious trouble," he muttered. A large, muscular officer next to him nodded. "But we've got no solid leads." Tension simmered. "It has to be that same guy again." Another officer added, "Female victim. Missing personal items. And more importantly, the same strange injury." The entire thing followed the same pattern. Case number 4. Then we cut back to Choi Kong-hoon, eyes narrowed, lost in thought. The whole team looked worn down, but focused. One officer pointed toward Park. "What's that guy doing? Taking pictures?" What is he, a journalist? Choi exhaled slowly and coolly responded, Sanghwan. Yes, sir, the reply came. Without turning, Choi gave the order, bring that guy over. Officer Park Ha-juan continued staring down the team like a cold, unbothered Sigma lead. Silent. Calculated. Cool under pressure. That's when Sanghwan chuckled and walked over, trying to ease the tension. Relax, kid. We didn't call you over to scold you. But Park didn't say a word, just kept that same unreadable expression. Then Chief Inspector Choi stepped in, sharp-eyed and direct. You're Officer Park Ha-juan, right? Yes, sir, Park answered. Then why were you taking pictures? Without hesitation, Park responded, I considered the possibility that the culprit might return to the crime scene. A skeptical voice from the back chimed in, with all these people around? That's unlikely. But Park wasn't done. There have been several documented cases where suspects return after the police arrive, just to watch. As if they're part of the audience. That silenced the room. Choi raised an eyebrow, interested. You must have passed the civil service exam. Did you major in forensic science? Yes. Were you the first officer at the scene? I was. And the informant? Choi continued. They were intoxicated, Park replied. Acting suspicious. Since the press arrived early, we had them escorted to the station to secure the scene. From behind, someone muttered with a nod, that was smart. Another officer smiled and added, solid decision for a key officer. Everyone started to relax, and for a brief moment, they were all looking at Park with respect. But Park? Still straight-faced, still calm, he just said, I just did what I was supposed to do. Choi nodded, pleased. Good. Report everything. Leave out nothing, from the moment you arrived till backup got here. And just like that, the scene shifted. It was late. Somewhere nearby, across a rough-looking alley near a worn-out tent structure, we saw someone stumbling around. Disheveled. Clearly drunk. It was MC mumbling to himself, did I drink too much? He wandered closer and stared at the moon, before muttering, been a while, since I came back here. Then, he noticed the small house that looked more like a tent. Slowly, he approached and stepped inside. As the wind rustled through the old place, the memories came rushing back. This was where Park's parents used to live. He looked around, eyes heavy, the weight of the past setting in. Eventually, he pulled out a bottle and whispered, Mom. I got through today. Met Chief Choi, the Regional Investigation Unit detectives. They were so cool. His voice cracked just a little. I want to be like them. Someday. So I can investigate your case, yours and Dad's. He sat there, quiet, eyes lost. If only one of them, just one, appeared before me. Dropped a clue. Something. But, forget it. That's never gonna happen. Then his gaze shifted, an old, dusty book sitting in the corner, The World of Serial Killers. His breath caught. This is the book Dad used to read all the time. He picked it up, brushed off the thick layer of dust. No matter how many times I asked, he never let me open it. But this time, he did. He opened the book. And the world changed. Suddenly, everything around him shifted. He was no longer in the tent, but inside a red-lit room, eerily surreal. Park spun around, confused. Then his eyes locked forward. There was a man. Handcuffed. Staring at him. And behind that cold steel? A wild smile. Blonde hair. Eyes that didn't blink. Park's chest tightened. The figure just grinned wider. Park took a step forward, voice barely steady. Who are you? The scene fades under a cold moonlight. Police officers are seen securing the investigation zone, caution tape fluttering in the night breeze. And right among them stands Officer Park Ha-juan. Still. Serious. His eyes locked on the scene ahead, but his thoughts elsewhere. He's thinking about that place. That room. That man. Who was that foreigner in cuffs? What kind of twisted illusion was that? It's not Halloween, and that building's been abandoned for years. Why did it all feel so real? His mind flashes back. To the blonde man's eerie smile. To that unsettling energy. Where have I seen that face before? Then suddenly, a voice cuts in. Mind if I sit here? Park blinks. What language was that? Korean? English? And then, it shifts again. He finds himself back in that dark space. The man in handcuffs is seated in front of him. Calm. Still. Watching. And this time, Park is staring at a pale, white wall, smooth and clean, no longer the blood-red haze from before. What is this place? Is this a dream? The man tilts his head. What year is it? Park, confused but guarded, replies, 2020. The stranger smiles. It's been 31 years since I last had a proper conversation. Park narrows his eyes. Whatever stunt this is, it's over. I'm an officer. Cut the games. But the blonde man only chuckles. The last people I spoke with were officers too. Right before I was executed. Park's breath catches. There's something about his eyes, that twisted, playful grin. And then, it clicks. That smile. That face from his college case studies. No mistake. Ted Bundy. Park's eyes widen. Ted Bundy. A notorious American serial offender, responsible for taking the lives of over 30 women. Known for his charm, his escapes, and his terrifying legacy. He was studied in Park's forensic classes, used as a model for psychological profiling. And now, he was right here. In front of him. The man grins wider, nodding slowly. So you recognize me, as expected of someone in law enforcement. Park clenches his jaw. Get lost. I don't want to see garbage like you in my dreams. The man shrugs as he begins to vanish, voice echoing faintly. As you wish. But I hope you'll call me back. Someday. And then he's gone. Park jolts awake. He's back in the dusty old room. Alone. Book in hand. His breathing is heavy, confused. What the hell was that? He stares down at the book again, The World of Serial Offenders. The same book his father used to read, the one he was never allowed to touch as a child. Everything feels heavier now. Later, while out on routine patrol, Park tries to shake it off. I must have had too much to drink, he mutters to himself. What a horrible dream. But even as he tells himself that, the memory lingers like smoke. His eyes rise toward the sky. Should I go back? Revisit the crime scene? And just like that, his feet start moving. Park enters the building once more, retracing steps, heart pounding. Then from behind him, a calm voice cuts through the silence. You seem deep in thought. Park turns. Standing there, cool and collected, is Chief Inspector Choi Kong-hoon. Choi stands beside Officer Park Ha-juan, watching over the cordoned-off area. He glances at Park and casually asks, Your first time handling something like this? Park nods. Yes, sir. It is. Choi steps forward, tone serious. Do you know why we often fail to catch people who commit crimes in series? Park doesn't respond, but internally, he's thinking, there's no such thing as a perfect act with no clues. No traces. And yet, why do we keep missing them? Choi answers his own question. It's not always about incompetence. It's that we don't see the scene through their eyes. If we could understand the way they think, maybe we'd stop them just a little sooner. He chuckles. Sounds strange, doesn't it? That last sentence hits Park. Understanding the mind of someone like that? Suddenly, his mind flashes to him. The blonde-haired man in the dream. That cold stare. That smile. Ted Bundy. The scene cuts again. We're back at the old tent-like house, where Park sits with the world of serial offenders in his lap. He stares down at it, uneasy. This is crazy, he mutters. But I have no choice. He opens the book again. Nothing happens. He lets out a dry laugh. Of course. Just a dream after all. But then, a voice. Oh? You've called me back. Park jolts up, whipping around. It's him. Again. The dark room. The chair. The white wall. Ted Bundy, smiling. So, it wasn't a dream. He places a hand over his face, breathing slow and deep. Fine. As impossible as this is, I accept it. You're Ted Bundy, and you're right in front of me. Bundy grins. Obviously. Park composes himself. Then answer my questions. But Bundy shrugs. Why should I? Park sighs. Right, he studied law. Defended himself in court. He knows how to dodge. Bundy leans forward. How about this? You answer one of my questions, and I'll answer yours. Park agrees reluctantly. Fine. Bundy smiles. What happened to my car, the one I cherished the most? Park doesn't hesitate. Detective Rooney Anderson kept it. Eventually, it was sold at an auction in 1997. We get a flash of that car, infamous. It was tied to several of Bundy's crimes. A car that investigators later used to trace vital evidence. Park sighs again, disgusted. That detective, selling a criminal's vehicle at an auction. Seriously? Bundy starts laughing. I can't believe it, they really sold it. My car. That's collector-level stuff right there. I bet he made good money. Park cuts him off sharply. Shut it. My turn now. Bundy smirks. Go on then. Park leans in, serious. There's been a case. 4 victims. The pattern is consistent, young women in their 20s. No outer clothing. A specific injury, the right thumbnail always missing. And not a trace of evidence. Bundy listens, fascinated. Beautiful, he mutters. Park's face darkens. Shut it, psycho. Listen properly. The cause of the incident each time was trauma to the back of the head. Fractures. No signs of hesitation. It's all clinical. What kind of person are we dealing with? How do we stop them? Bundy remains silent. So Park continues, almost pleading, someone like you must understand. There's no physical evidence. No clues. I'm just a low-ranking officer. This is all I have. If I had more, I'd use it. Bundy chuckles. That's fine. Strange though, isn't it? Park snaps. What's strange? Bundy looks at him. You want the answer from the person considered the most infamous. Park grits his teeth. Not famous. Infamous. The worst kind of person. Human trash. That's not a compliment. Bundy doesn't react. Calmly, he says, before my first act. I hesitated. I once tried to strike a woman from behind, she screamed, and I ran. Another time, I attacked a student. Thought I ended her, but she lived. I failed. Twice. Park narrows his eyes. What's your point? Stop speaking like you're proud of it. It's disgusting. Bundy's voice drops. The point is, I was afraid. Afraid to follow through. Afraid to finish what I started. That's why I failed. Because no one is perfect at first. Park's breathing slows. Bundy continues. This one you're chasing? He's too clean. Too perfect. That's not normal. Not even I was that precise. That hits Park hard. He recalls Chief Choi's words, if we could understand how they think, maybe we'd stop them. This is what he meant. The scene shifts once more. A car speeds down a dimly lit road. Inside it, the Regional Investigation Unit team looks absolutely drained. One of them groans, I'm dying here, head pressed against the window. Another snaps back, quit whining. Focus on catching the perp. But the first officer sighs, we've been chasing shadows. Nothing but dead ends. I don't even remember what my home looks like. Another mutters, going home's a luxury now. The cycle's getting tighter. We can't even sit still without higher-ups breathing down our necks. Even the commissioner wants daily updates. Their exhaustion is written all over their faces, sleepless eyes, faded uniforms, and tension running high. Meanwhile, Officer Park Ha-Juan is stationed at the edge of the crime scene. Calm, serious, focused. Then suddenly, Sang-hwan walks by and jabs at him, smirking. Well, if it isn't the rookie officer with the forever scowling face. Park salutes. Then Chief Choi walks over, his expression softening into a smile. Any unusual activity? Park replies professionally, no sir. Nothing out of the ordinary so far. Choi nods. Good. Keep up the solid work. Park hesitates. Inspector. Choi cuts him off. Call me Chief. Park nods and starts again, Chief. I heard this is a serial case. Choi simply replies, yes. Then Park gathers his courage. Everyone has a first time, right? Choi's eyes sharpen. Speak clearly. We don't have time for riddles. Park steps forward. This case, it's too perfect. From the first to the fourth victim, there's not a shred of hard evidence. No camera footage. No dash cams. No tracks. Nothing. He pauses. Doesn't that seem strange? No one's flawless from the beginning. Suddenly, a memory hits him like a bolt. A flashback, Ted Bundy's eerie voice echoes in his mind. You know why the cops always miss? When something happens, they look right at the scene. Meanwhile, I'm already long gone, somewhere else. Of course, I made mistakes early on. But they weren't looking in the right place. The memory vanishes. Park takes a deep breath. Choi's gaze lingers on him, then snaps his fingers. We need to check reports of attempted crimes. Cases that didn't succeed. Even the ones outside Seoul, Choi adds. Especially those. Check everything, he orders. Now. In seconds, the team moves like unleashed hounds, scattering in every direction. Before walking off, Choi tosses a stack of suspicious report files at Park. Take these. I'll contact you later. As the chief leaves, Park exhales deeply, his whole body loosening. That was intense. The next day comes. Park Hajuan is sitting alone, caught in his thoughts. Did I waste their time yesterday? He imagines the whole RIU team yelling at him, kicking him out, mocking him. Can I really trust what Bundy said? He shakes the thought off. No. I'll just focus on what I can do. So that when the next opportunity comes, I'm ready. Suddenly, his junior officer rushes in, breathless and wide-eyed. Officer Park. What did you do? The RIU just called, they want you. The chief himself asked for you. Park's heart skips. They caught him, the officer says. The one behind the case. Scene switches. We're now inside the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency, Regional Investigation Unit. Park stands across from Chief Choi, stiff and silent. His hands tight. His eyes hesitant. Then Choi speaks first. Calm but sharp. Do you know we caught him? Park gulps. Yes. I think I do. Choi gives him the faintest nod. You said it yourself. Everyone has a first time. Chief Choi leans in and says, you know that abandoned shopping district in Yongsan. Park nods. Yeah? Choi continues, most of the stores are shut down now. But 2 years and 2 months ago, around 2 a.m., a woman came running into Yongsan Station. Said someone tried to hit her with a hammer. A hammer. Yeah, that part hits hard. Luckily, Choi adds, he missed. Just a small cut on her forehead. But, Park jumps in. Then why wasn't he caught? Because the bastard was wearing a cap and a mask. And to make things worse, the building owner had shut off the CCTV to cut costs. Classic. Cheap building. No footage. No face. No arrest. But then how did you catch him? Park asks. Choi's eyes narrow. Because freaks like him don't stop after one try. A similar report came in, this time from near Chungmuro. A man was attacked while walking in the park. He fought back. Screamed. Someone heard. Cops caught the guy before he could escape. The victim survived. The attacker? Got 6 months for aggravated assault. Sloppy move. Big mistake. Park pieces it together. So that was him? Choi nods. Yeah. We raided his house. You want to guess what we found? Park says nothing. Just listens. Fingernails, Choi says, lined up on the wall, like butterfly specimens. He displayed them. And if that's not nightmare fuel enough, they also found a heel. Most likely the murder weapon. DNA test is just a formality now. This guy? He's not sane. And the real questioning starts soon. But forget that psycho for now, Choi suddenly says, switching gears. Let's talk about you, Officer Park. Our boy straightens up. Choi continues, age 27. Majored in forensic science. Applied to the violent crime unit 6 times. Rejected each time for lack of qualifications. Park shrugs. Most teams don't take people like me anyway. But Choi isn't finished. That report you submitted yesterday, did you really come up with that yourself? Park freezes. If he tells the truth, that he's been thinking like a killer, Choi might think he's insane. So he plays it cool. I just tried to think like the murderer. Like you once told me. What would I want to do if I was him? What would my first kill feel like? What mistake might I have made? Then I started researching serial killers from all over the world. Flashback hits. Chief Choi once said, if we could think the way killers think, maybe we could catch them faster. Choi's impressed. Smirks. All right. You're starting on probation. Park blinks. Wait. What do you mean? We're busy this week, Choi says casually. Your first real assignment starts next week. Park's brain is still loading. I would have been happy just to get your recommendation, but actual field work? This is insane. Chief, where am I being assigned? Choi grins. How far is your house? I live in Gwacheon, Park replies. Not that far then, Choi says. And with that, he drops the bomb. Welcome to your new home, the Regional Investigation Unit. Park stands there, stunned, as the words hit him. This isn't just a case anymore. This is the beginning of something way bigger. Now in the next scene our MC is on a bus standing, suit pressed, box in hand, but his mind? Still spinning. Everyone around him can't stop staring. He's tall, composed, kinda looks like the anime protagonist who's secretly packing trauma. But inside, he's still trying to process it all. I don't even know how this past week flew by. Assigned to the Regional Investigation Unit, it still doesn't feel real. Cut to the next shot, he's walking alone down a quiet street, box in hand, eyes landing on a familiar place. Hajuan Family Diner. Open for once. He walks in, the bell above the door jingling. Grandma. I'm home. Before he can say more, her voice gently cuts in. My son? It feels like just yesterday Hajuan became a police officer, and now he's off to the investigation unit? She looks at his baby photos on the wall. His mother. His father. All three of them. She sighs. Your child grew up so well, if only they were here to celebrate too. But the happiness quickly gives way to memory. Another flashback hits, this time painful. Our MC, bruised and swollen, lies on a mattress. He hears something, quiet sobs. He peeks through a small shutter. His grandma's in the living room, placing something high up on a shelf. Is she hiding something? Curiosity takes over. Once the coast is clear, he tiptoes to the shelf, grabs the book, and it's a photo album? He opens it, expecting secrets, treasure, maybe. Instead, he finds memories. Himself as a child. His mother, smiling. His father, proud. A simple photo on a toy horse. Then something taped inside. A newspaper clipping. His eyes scan it. Southern Gyeonggi serial murderer remains a mystery. A young couple. Gwacheon City. Found dead. With a 5-year-old son. His world stops. He flashes back to what grandma told him for years. Your parents died in a car accident. But this was no accident. Kids once called him an orphan. Mocked him. Bullied him. He fought back, every single time. Until the school gave him his final warning. One more incident, and you're expelled. Flashback ends. His eyes fly open, back in the present. Lying in bed. Silent. But not broken. It's time for work. We cut to the Regional Investigation Unit building. His footsteps echo through the hallway. Then someone from the team spots him, surprised. Park suddenly stands straight. Salutes. Officer Park Hajuan, reporting in. The officer jumps. Damn, you scared me. Oh, it's you. Came in early, huh? Park chuckles. Looks like you did too, detective. But the guy shakes his head. Me? I never went home. They share a moment, then walk in together. Park's assigned a desk, and finally, we get the man's name. Lee Jichul. Senior Patrol Officer. He smiles. Looking forward to working with you. Park responds politely, but Jichul laughs. Knock it off. This isn't uniform division. Don't call me Officer Lee Jichel. Just call me Jichel, okay? Park nods. How old are you? 31, you're 27, right? We're basically brothers. Chill out. Then Jichel glances toward the chief's office. When's the chief finally going home? Park guesses. Still thinking about the last case? Jichel sighs. Yeah. Evidence matches. Everything lines up. But he still can't let it go. Cue flashback. The interrogation room. An officer asks Chief Choi, "Are we done with the suspect?" Choi stares straight ahead. "We need to reinvestigate." The officer blinks. "What? Why?" Choi's voice drops. "Because that bastard, he didn't kill just 4, he killed more." He remembers the interrogation. When the suspect heard there were 4 victims, he laughed. With a sick, twisted grin. This case? It's not over. Not even close. And that's it for today's episode. If you're loving Officer Park's journey, drop a like. Let's hit 200 likes to unlock the next part.